Hey, Hippie Magica here. I'm speaking to you guys all the way from Spain. Such an amazing location on earth. I highly recommend all of you guys to come here and experience the magic of this country and continent. And today's topic is the 3 things I did on a daily basis to manifest my specific person. And it's so simple. The hard part, just like anything in life, is being consistent, having discipline, and repeating this every single day as if your life depended on it. You know, you have to want it this much to have this much motivation to do certain things every single day. So just like working out, I love working out. And I always had a promise. I made a promise to myself when I was 17 that I would put my health first. And that was in, meditations and working out every day. So, and just like anybody else could have a workout routine temporarily. Maybe they're wanting to get married. Maybe they're going to go on a date. You have to have a very strong motivation to do something every day. So I'll speak on another video about how to create habits. But if you do already know how to create habits, then these are the 3 things I did every day to manifest my specific person within, I would say, a year and a half of doing self-love and changing my entire life and internal world within. So number 1, what I did every day was self-love. What is self-love? It's a lot of things. When I first discovered it in 2018, I was so confused. I'm like, it sounded so simple. It's just 2 words, right? Self-love, just like self-care, selfish. But self-love is about taking full responsibility and loving yourself no matter what, always. I learned to look at myself as if I was my own child. Like if I was my own child, how would I treat myself if I made a mistake? If I didn't have friends, if I was lonely, let's say I was double my age. If I was 25 and me, I was 50 looking at myself being 25, what would I say to her? I would obviously always look at the positive side. I would always encourage her. I would always, make her feel better. I would always tell her the big picture, and all the possibilities. So that's how I started to treat myself. It wasn't quickly, this shift of mentality of loving myself. I think it took at least 6 months of going from negative to being self-loving, going to sabotaging myself, going to self-loving. And after 6 months, I hired a life coach for 6 months. And that's when I really made a lot of momentum. And I made a big changes in my life because I was consistent with my mental diet, with my affirmations, with my self-love meditations. So I made a lot of progress in my life. But if you don't have the money to hire a life coach, then at least you can watch these kinds of videos of people who've done it like me, and it can speed up your process and not have to pay a life coach, which I highly recommend to get. It's the best investment you can make on yourself. So self-love, you can do it through a lot of things. You could do it through self-love meditations, which I can post in the description below of some that I did and that changed my life. You can do self-love affirmations throughout the day, because I used to do them only in the morning, as a morning routine, and then I would stop the rest of the day. But I highly recommend to do self-love affirmations 24 hours a day. And this is probably the most important part of self-love. Like, how do you treat yourself the entire day? And personally, I didn't know I was being negative. Like I wasn't conscious like months would pass, and it's like, why do I keep, manifesting good things, and then why do bad things happen? And then, I'm like you guys, I would watch YouTube videos. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna find the answer why things I'm not manifesting, and why bad things sometimes happen, and why good things sometimes happen. And it was because of my mental diet. I was negative, and I didn't even know I was being negative throughout the day. So I learned to be very self-aware. I started to watch my thoughts. I started to just observe myself. And there's a really, really good book that taught me how to do this, and I read it for the fourth time, in like 10 years. But I read it for the first time when I started doing my self-love journey, and like I was able to connect this book, which is called The Power of Now. Probably the best, or one of the best books in the world. The Power of Now. It teaches you to observe your thoughts, that you are not your thoughts. You are the watcher, watching those thoughts pass. So your thoughts are like a movie. Do you think that the guy, insulting the girl is you? Do you feel insulted when the guy insults a girl? No, it's like you're just watching a movie, letting it pass, you're not reacting. So changing your mental diet through watching your thoughts was probably one of the most powerful things I did, and that took me the most. I think it took me like almost a year to do that, because I kept feeling very bad. And when, I don't know, I used to be at my corporate job, in 2018, when this is while I was doing my self-love journey, and it just sucks being in a corporate job. At least I hated it. But through my self-love journey, I had to, love it, love everything, love the job even, to let it go. But when somebody would embarrass me, or because there's so much competition in the corporate world, when somebody would try to embarrass me or try to make me look bad so they would look good, I would see how I would react. Because before, I would probably tell myself bad things like, oh, you suck, that was so embarrassing, you look so bad, But when I learned to observe my thoughts and then change them, I was able to say, it's okay, I forgive them. And then I would do, the Ho'oponopono, or I would change the thoughts to positive ones, like I'm good, I'm loved, I love myself. So another self-love thing you can do is a vision board, like how do you want to live the rest of your life? Who do you want to be with? Who? What do you want to be doing? Where in the world? So treat yourself, you deserve this. You deserve to live your dream life. So definitely feeling loved, feeling values, feeling worthy to do anything. And that can be by doing little things, like, do you enjoy going to the pool, or do you enjoy going to work? Some people, they think they're not worthy to do these things because they have to work, or because they feel like they need to be earning more money, or they can't rest until they do certain things. It's like, no, you're treating yourself as not lovable. Love yourself, make yourself feel good. You'll know that you're loving yourself by feeling good. So focus on the feeling and observe your thoughts. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 that I did every day to manifest my specific person was the Ho'oponopono. And I know I repeat it so many times, but I still do it every day. I still do the prayer, which goes like this: I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. I was talking with a client that I'm helping her manifest a legal issue, and Ho'oponopono kept coming up in her life, and obviously I was telling her as well, and she's like, I've been hearing this word and this prayer like all over in my life recently. I'm like, it's a sign, the universe is trying to tell you, like, if you want to change your life, which was very chaotic, it's very chaotic, like, you need, like, it's a reflection of you, and the Ho'oponopono is going to fix that in a way. And she's like, how do you do it, like, what do you do? And I told her, you focus on the feeling, whatever feeling comes up. Because that first year that I started self-love, it was like I just had so much buildup, so much resentment, so much anger, so much sadness, depression, so much feeling of unworthy and shame. So I would focus on those, which it was like all the time, every day. Focus on those feelings, feel it, don't ignore it, don't push it down, but feel it. It's like let it expand and say the prayer to it. Say to shame, say to anger, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And say it over and over and over and over and over and over until it disappears, and it's going to disappear. Do it one time, just do it one time at least, and then see the magic happens. And then I think you're going to get hooked. It's like, okay, it does work. Now imagine doing this every time you feel something bad. Not only is it disappearing, but it's being erased from your life, If it's not erased from your life, from your energy field, you're going to keep recreating it in your reality. So do it to clean yourself, do it to create a new life, do it for self-care, do it because would you wash your car? Would you clean your house? Why aren't you cleaning your energy? Why aren't you cleaning yourself? You're the most important thing. Ho'oponopono is that. It's like taking a shower. It's like washing your car. It's like going, to the hair salon to cut your hair. And it's the most important self-care. You need to forgive. You need to love yourself. You need to be grateful. And you're going to feel so much lighter. Like, I can't believe how heavy I used to be before I started, these 3 habits. I used to feel like probably double my age in every way because I had resentment from like 10 years, almost. So Ho'oponopono for sure, and I did it in many different ways. At first I started doing it with meditations, which I'll list in the description below, and then I would do them in the morning and at night, and not every day, but on the days where I had the most pain and it's like I don't want to live this anymore because things kept recreating at work, and it's like, okay, I don't want to live this with these toxic people, because it's like I changed teams in my corporate job, and then the same people appeared in the new team that I was in. Like, I was in the second floor, changed me to the first floor, and it was like the same energy. I'm like, why? So it's like it had to be me. So I had to do this self-cleansing through Ho'oponopono. And then another way I did it was literally on the spot. So I would be at work, and then there was a coworker that was very annoying, and I would just do it to him, like he was sitting over there, and I would focus on him in my head. Like, I would see his face, and I would see his name and his energy, and then I would say the prayer Ho'oponopono and say the entire prayer until like it dissipated at least half, which could only take like a couple minutes or a few minutes, but it feels longer because it's painful, and because you don't want, people don't like being in pain. People like comfort. So do it to anything and everything that you don't want in your life anymore. And the third thing I did to manifest my specific person was to live in the present moment. To have no expectations, which is the same as living in the present moment, because you're not thinking of the future. You're not thinking of what you're going to get or how it's going to change. Like, you're just here now. And it's the most magical thing I've done. All these 3 things I listed they're the most powerful tools I've used. But living in the present moment really enriched my life, really made me feel loved. It's like, I'm enough now. I feel good now. I don't need to find somebody to love me. I don't need to be the most beautiful woman to feel good. I don't need to go to the gym to feel good. I don't need to put makeup on to feel beautiful. It's like I'm perfect the way I am, and I feel good the way I am. And just living in the present moment, which I also learned how to do through The Power of Now. And it's my favorite book. It's seriously changed my life in a lot of ways every time I read it. So I highly recommend for you to read it if you haven't. And the two things that stuck with me from that book are to help me be in the present moment were, number one, focus on the silence. It's so powerful. Focus on the silence. It's easy to hear sound, it's easy to hear all the noise, music, but focus on the silence between music. Focus on the silence between words being said. Focus on the silence of traffic. Focus on those silences. And oh my gosh, that blew my mind when I started to practice it. The second thing Eckhart Tolle, which is the author of The Power Now, said to live in the present moment was to focus on the space between things. So yeah, it's easy to notice landmarks and like a big red truck or this luxurious black car and, you know, a beautiful modern jet and beautiful people, you know, but how about the space between the people? How about the space between the trees? How about the space between buildings? How about the space between, you know, people's legs when they're walking? How about the space between clouds? You know, it's like, it's amazing. And when you do that, seriously, time completely stops. And you're living in the eternal time, which is no time, which is now. I love it. I love that book. I'm going to start reading it for the 5th time pretty soon. And yes, those are the 3 tips, 3 habits, 3 things I did every single day. Well, that I try to do every single day. As more times passed, I started to implement, you know, one of those things and be more consistent. But now, you know, that it's been, wow, 2 years. I can't believe it. It's been 2 years since I started my self-love journey. I do these every day. And if not, at least 2, you know, because I'm not perfect. But I'll always go back to these 3. And a lot of times I just do them naturally. I don't even try to be self-loving to myself. I don't even try to do the Ho'oponopono. And I don't even try to live in the present moment and have no expectations. I just do it. When something bad happens, you know, which is not really that bad, it's just a little uncomfortable happens in my life, my brain does the Ho'oponopono prayer on its own. I don't even try. So let me know what you guys thought. And yeah, let me know if you guys want me to do any more videos. And until next time.